Hi, I'm Sawyer Dresser,
And I'm AJ Lucier.
and this is The
Biggest
Biggest
Thing.
Thing.
So how do you even start a podcast?
How do you start a podcast? Well,
That's something you and I have been going back and forth with a lot of lately. Like, oh, we really want to do this, but like, what's the right way?
we don't know the right way.
No, that's why we're here. We're figuring it out.
You're doing it with us. We're on a journey together. So, we're going to be bullshitting. We're going to
Gonna be drinking.
shit talking.
Maybe we'll try to do a little less of that, but it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. So, let's start it off right. What's your biggest thing? What's your biggest thing today?
My biggest thing.
What's your biggest thing this week? What happened to you this week?
Well, so this week, my biggest thing this week was on my fucking birthday. I smashed my finger between two boats.
Happy birthday.
Sorry. Yep. Thanks, man. So I got to spend my birthday in the hospital with a crushed pinky. So I've just been home for. I was actually thinking about it today. It's like for a lot of people, I think it's like, oh man, it must be so nice for you to just like you got out of work early on Friday and you're off. Now it's Monday. It's like, yeah, I mean, like for like a normal person, I think that would be something like awesome, but I'm also down a hand. So it's like the only thing I can ever do when I have alone time. I usually like to play guitar. I'll go for a bike ride.
Can't do
recently, but so it's like, oh, like I can watch YouTube. Sick.
It's so funny when you have that kind of free time. When you want free time, you don't ever have it. And when you actually have free time, you don't know how to use it.
I've been going crazy, honestly, like because even
maddening.
like me relaxing, like you live here, you see it. Like me relaxing is like I get all like lately I've been doing a lot. Put headphones in, I just like pace. Like I sit down on the couch, try to watch something, and like me and my wife are like chilling. But it's like even then I'm just like nope, like I gotta get up. I'm gonna walk around the house. Like I get angsty, so like not even be able to and that's usually tired from work.
I just recently learned within the last 2 months how to, maybe not even 2 months, probably like 2 weeks, how like when you get home from work, I'll be like, all right, AJ's on fucking activity time.
Right, like time we gotta jam. Maybe we'll work out.
We gotta just fucking do. We gotta
right.
do. Lately, it's like, oh wait, I can just go relax if I want.
Yeah,
It's
which
weird.
was like again like
Super antisocial, but some days you need it.
You need it. Which I've been doing a lot of. I've been finding sucks because I'm on my days off. I'm pretty hard to motivate anyway. Like I usually get up and get going. It takes me like a couple hours. I get up. I'm like I'm gonna get up at 7 and go to the dump. I'll do that at like noon. Sure, like I'll get it done. But like
Dump.
But now with my hand all busted, it's just like I'm gonna get up at 7 and sit until I go to bed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But so it's like it's funny how when you don't have to choose that, like when that's not your only option, it's like, oh, I'd really love to just like hang out and not do anything. But like now I'm forced to do nothing. They're going on 3 days, and I'm like, fuck, like I really wish I could do anything.
Right. You're trying to go back to work.
Right, like yeah, like calling my doctors, like, hey, like could I just get on light duty or like something? Like I can't do this anymore. I can't just sit here.
I need to do something. Help me, please. Damn. So that's rough.
What's your biggest thing this week?
Well, my biggest thing this week. Oh, geez. I don't even know if I have a biggest thing this week.
You gotta have a biggest thing.
Gotta have a biggest thing this week. I do warehouse stuff. I run a warehouse at Dick's Sporting Goods.
I don't know if we can say that.
I don't know if we can either, but I do. So I am in the heat of boat season right now. Just hammering boats left and right.
I.e. my broken hand.
Yeah, it's hammering them very gently, mind you. So yeah, we're in the middle of a boat sale. I'm fucking hauling 50 boats a day. Loving it. Fucking shoulders blowing out. It's great. Everything's great. It's not a very good biggest thing though. It kind of sucks. I think my biggest thing is probably I'm pretty bummed that we're not going to be able to really play much music at all.
I know.
I mean, we can, but we're not going to be able to do much.
No, like I'm
For like 2 months with with AJ's broken hand. Hence, why we're starting this.
I mean, I'm sure.
Good excuse to kick off this shit.
My dogs are freaking out. But I'm sure like in like a few weeks I'm gonna go like I'll go up to 3 fingers. I won't be able to use my pinky, but
We may have our first guest.
I wonder if there's a guest here.
We may have our first guest walking into the studio right now. Oh, I believe we do.
Did Cam say he was coming over?
I think we may be experiencing our first guest walk in today.
Oh my god, having a live guest, even though we are not posting this live.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first guest walking into the studio. It is Cameron Howard.
Hello.
What's up?
Cam, what's your biggest thing today?
My biggest thing.
Today or this week, whichever you're feeling.
What's
Yeah.
your biggest thing this week? What's some crazy shit you've been doing this week?
Just fixing ACs.
Oh, it is the kind of getting to that.
I got a
season.
tip for you. Change your fucking air filters.
There you go. There you go.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna have to change your air fucking filters. So, we're bullshitting.
We're bullshitting.
Diving deep.
We're trying.
We're doing a little running a little trial episode. We're gonna see what she sounds like. We're
Just seeing how we can throw conversations back, and if we can even bullshit long enough to make it worthwhile for anything.
Yeah, I think we can.
I think it's going great.
I think we can.
I mean, I don't know how long it's been.
Probably about 10 minutes.
But I mean, we got it.
Fucking golden 10 minutes. Yeah. So
So if you haven't addressed it, what's up with the finger there?
Oh, we actually did just go through, but I can tell you again. So I actually didn't give the story. I just kind of,
give it a full send.
right, okay.
Get honest.
Well, so like I went over, I broke it, like it got crushed between some boats at work. So Sawyer was actually just saying we're in the middle of our boat sale right now. So we've been getting a ton of boats in. We're working on a boat display in the store. So we have a bunch of storage trailers out back. Me and this other guy at work were like going to set the displays up for this new section. Open up the trailers. We were like pulling some boats out. They're like stacked to the top. So we were getting like this big fishing boat out of the middle.
Yeah.
So we were pulling it out, and there was a youth, what is it? Paddleboard on inside it. And so when it came out, the paddleboard slid all the way to the end and just pinched my pinky between the two. So I ended up shattering, what is it called? A tuft fracture. So like this end bone is just like shattered.
Yeah, you
like
fractured
broken
your,
like three.
fractured your tuft.
Yeah, my tuft is fractured, man.
That's wonderful. Just so that way some douchebag in a couple of months can buy a paddleboard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully this week. Hopefully we sell some.
Hopefully. Nobody's bought a single paddleboard yet, so
Yeah.
not
Well, because
looking
it's a boat sale, not a paddleboard
not
sale.
looking good.
You gotta market it right.
Not looking good. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Pretty good way to fucking mess up a month or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it kind of like it sucks because like it happened on my birthday. So like I was like,
Hey,
fucker.
congratulations.
Yeah, like I was like at work. I was pumped because I like asked our boss. I was like, hey, can I leave early, like an hour early? She was like, yeah, you know what? That's cool. I was like, all right, nice. It's gonna be my
Like, no, move that
today's
paddleboard.
no. She actually did. She was like, oh, you can leave early, and I was like, nice. Like today is gonna be my day. Then like I was sitting there with blood like pouring down my arm. Like, oh, I get to leave real early now. Huh?
Well, the funniest is that so you try to leave the day, or you asked if you could leave early to commemorate Grumpy
Oh,
Cat's
right,
death.
because that was the other thing is earlier, like first thing in the morning, I'd found out that, by the way, R.I.P. Grumpy Cat.
R.I.P. Grumpy Cat.
But I found out that
Departed.
Grumpy Cat died, and I like to my boss as a joke was like, Kate, I gotta go home. Probably shouldn't say names, whatever.
Just did. Sorry.
But I was like, I gotta go home. I'm emotionally unstable. Grumpy cat died. And it's just funny that. And then I was like, no, but like actually, could I leave an hour
Take this time
early?
to be with my cats.
Well, right. I was like, no, like actually, could I leave an hour early? And she's like, yeah, like no problem. I was like, sick. And then so like I was supposed to be out at 4, so I was like, I'm just gonna leave at 3. Like cool. Then I broke my finger around noon.
Fresh off lunch.
Yeah. So it's looking all gnarly. My fingernails starting to like pop off and stuff. The doctor taped it back on though.
Yeah,
so
that whole little bit of scotch tape never hurt.
no, I mean,
I think I had just woken up because I worked an overnight that night, and I just hear a knock on my door. I got up to go to the bathroom, and I went back in and hear a knock on my door. I'm like, I'm not masturbating. She's like, your wife was like, yeah, AJ smashed his shit. He's got to go to the hospital. I'm like, oh.
she was probably trying to see if you would do it because she was like, but I am watching. What's that show?
Well, my response was, okay.
Give me like 5 minutes to close out of the website.
It's just like, okay, almost there. Sorry. Like, well, because she was watching, what's it called? That show that you guys watch.
The Act.
The Act. Yeah, I don't watch that show. Seems kind of stupid.
I don't even.
It's
Can't
okay.
say I've heard of it.
It's
like,
okay.
It's a show about, I don't know the full story.
It's
so I'm gonna
murder
butcher it.
porn.
You probably should.
It's murder
Alright.
porn. So this girl,
Well,
she's a regular girl, but her mom is like, hey, you're not regular. You got a lot of issues. Your disease. It's like Munchausen. I think it's Munchausen syndrome. That's what it's called. So just like talks to her about how she's got all these diseases and she's in a wheelchair even though she can walk. And knows she can walk, just like the fucking weird shit, you know. She just makes her think she's
it's not
sick.
Stockholm syndrome.
No, that's when you kidnap somebody
And
then
convince
you,
That's
them,
when you
yeah.
right?
sympathize
Okay,
with
yeah.
your
Yeah.
captors,
Well, that's
yeah.
kind of the same
Yeah,
thing.
Munchausen's
Oh
when
no,
you,
so they're convincing her that
Munchausen
she's
wins
like
you-
handicapped.
Yeah,
Right,
Munchausen's
yeah,
when you
yeah.
fake a bunch of
Okay.
illnesses. Right? She gets like a feeding tube put in and everything,
Holy
and
shit.
yeah, like real deal. She
Like
fakes.
for no reason.
Taking hypochondria to a whole
Well,
nother
she
level.
fakes- she tells all the doctors-
It's a
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
remake. It's like
Yeah,
they're
it's a
making
real
it
story.
on film, but like this girl's in prison right now because she killed her mom.
Yeah,
We're
so
doing
like
this to her.
she finds out that her mom did that to her, and then she kind of like meets this guy
Oh,
on
you
the
know what? I think I
internet.
actually
and-
heard like a news blip.
I'm sure you
about
heard
this.
about the
Yeah,
case. Like
that's
probably not the
right,
show,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
probably heard
Yep.
about the case. But yeah, like I personally think
It's not bad. It's
I
okay.
think-
It's just kind of a little slow.
my biggest thing on that is I think it's fucked up that she's in jail just because she killed her mom, who was like making her suffer.
well,
Like
I
that's
mean,
but like
Well, like,
regardless
what's
of
this
how
now, like a
things.
miniseries or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Gotcha.
But like, regardless of how this falls, like the Hollywood version and the real version, regardless how it ends, like she's still currently in jail.
oh fuck yeah.
For being
Well,
like, hey,
'cause-
like I was defending myself, trying to get my life back.
I
Like,
mean,
not even back. She never had a real life.
yeah, but like
yeah, but
there's.
like when she realized she could get up and like kill her mom, she also
Okay.
could have just gotten up and like.
She's like 19
She-
years old.
right, but
I
at
think
the
when she
same-
killed her, she was like 22 or something like that. So she's like, she could have just left. Like,
Yeah,
don't
but
kill your mom.
you got to think you were raised like that, so her brain's probably not working the same way.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
like, oh, I could just
Oh,
get
yeah.
up and leave.
I'm sure there's a
she's
lack of cognitive
hardwired to be
ability.
like, no,
Yeah.
there's something wrong. I have to fix it, like murder.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, like it's probably more of like a trigger thing.
Well, the guy she met online, she met this guy on a dating website that has multiple personalities, and she met one of his personalities, and his name is Victor, and he's the psycho killer. So she asks Victor to kill him, not even the guy.
Right.
Psycho chicken.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's just a little slow, and it's
You know, I might have to give it a watch though, because my biggest point currently is
your biggest thing.
My biggest thing is that I'm getting a little sick of these documentaries that I keep stumbling across that seem real good, and all they are is they just they're like third-person views of somebody's psychosis of
Oh,
like
bro.
a killer. And yeah, I get it. I'm sure they were abused as a child and
Bro.
got a couple nuts and bolts loose.
You know, you
I'm
gotta-
more interested in like specific stories. I think
No.
that's why the Ted
You gotta
Bundy
watch-
tapes got me so good.
That was good.
I
but
haven't
you gotta
watched
watch
that yet, but I want to.
You gotta watch the fucking. I just restarted it last night. It's called Evil Genius.
Yes, that popped up on my Netflix, and I
Oh,
wanted
fuck.
to double check with you if that was the one you were talking
Dude,
about. 'Cause I was thinking about.
It's the one with
putting
the
that
pizza delivery
on. Right,
bomber.
yeah, the bomb collar. Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Turn this up.
It's super good. It's super good. It's basically like this fucking guy. He's a pizza delivery guy. He goes out.
Spoiler alert!
He's in Erie, Pennsylvania.
my piano.
They go to like. Anybody not watching this yet? This show came out like 3 or 4 years ago.
I
But
haven't even seen this yet. It's a spoiler
it's
for me.
fucking killer though. I won't give anything away, but basically he's got
give it away.
a bomb collar
Red
on.
Hot
He's a
Chili
pizza
Peppers.
delivery guy, and he fucking goes. He gets a delivery job. He goes out to this abandoned fucking radio station or whatever. Gets jumped, beat up. Fucking, they put
Did
a
they
bomb
make a comedy
collar.
movie about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did 30 minutes or less
Yeah.
with Aziz Ansari. I guess was loosely
Yeah.
based off of it.
Yeah,
Same
but
idea.
Yeah.
Aziz Ansari's head doesn't fucking blow
Yeah,
off.
they put more of a positive spin on it for
Sure.
the movie,
It was
but
Yeah, this one wasn't positive. This was just a lot of blood
yeah, well, I mean,
and pizza.
from what I understand, is that that fellow was initially involved with the idea of strapping a bomb collar onto someone else's neck. So I mean, reap what you sow. Probably
that's-
shouldn't get involved with people planning about doing
That's
shit
the
with
kicker
bomb
of it.
collars.
That's the kicker of it. You got to get a few episodes in to find out. But this motherfucker was heavily involved with it. He just didn't realize he was going to be the guy with the collar.
Right. Well, I mean, that's your first mistake. Is you're playing with people's lives that
Oh,
could
you
very
wanna-
well be your own. That's what.
Go into business with a guy like that to be fought.
And that's the big problem with the world nowadays is the lack of responsibility for things. And you know what? That guy was held responsible for wanting to strap a bomb collar on somebody. It just happened to get strapped on himself.
Right.
It's pretty neat.
Like, why are
like-
you dabbling in that road anyway?
The thing I really like about the show is it's the people in it are it's real obviously, but it's I remember it pretty vividly. I think I was like 13 and I saw it on the news and like there was just like this fucking guy in front of this fucking cop car and he's got a bomb around his neck and his head blows off on TV. Like it was pretty crazy and like it was kind of like Saw. You know, he had like a list. He has a list of stuff he has to go do. He has to go rob a bank. He has to go find all these
Right,
keys
all like
to
within
unlock
certain,
shit.
like,
Yeah.
certain times in the
Yeah.
day and shit like
It-
that.
It's like a real life escape room, except you're not stuck in a room. Like,
The
yeah.
creepy part is like they run out the whole list and everything, and like no fucking chance the guy would have had enough time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was real, and his head did go boom.
His head don't went boom.
But yeah, it's just kind of cool because the people that were like, that's why it's called Evil Genius, because the people that were doing it are just these fucking masterminds. Like they
Was
thought
that
out.
is that the same one with the woman who's gotten away with like killing like 3 of her husbands or something? Like she was in
Yeah.
on it as well. And, like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently
she's
she
still
was
like going
the...
and like
Well,
she's like,
she's-
oh, like my husband just
From what I
died."
understand,
She's
she
in
was a
jail
very
now.
like head figure of the
She's
whole
in
thing.
jail now. Yeah, well, she was the one running it, but like she
Right.
was also she had a bunch of pawns, and all these pawns were super fucking smart too. But they're all like backwoods rednecks that are just like crazy.
Oh, yeah, they're
crazy,
home
crazy.
engineers. They're
Smarter only
MacGyvers.
gets you so far down.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
they like
Just kidding.
every little detail of the thing was so set up like
Fucking
to slow
paper
the
clips
cops
and
down.
chewing gum.
Like right down to the first thing of just like, okay, where you guys are gonna do it is state police jurisdiction. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do the first thing is a bank robbery so that the FBI get involved, and then you're gonna have a bomb attached to it so that the ATF get in it, and all 3 of those agencies are gonna fight for this case, and they're all gonna it's gonna be a tangle before it even starts. So like even right down to the first detail of just like this is gonna fuck with them. Let's do that. And down through the whole fucking process of it, the one guy like basically turns himself in just to see if he can fucking just outsmart the cops, and he does, and he does it because he finds out he has cancer. He's just like, well, I got like 6 months to live, so I'm just gonna
Fuck it.
fuck with these guys.
Holy shit.
It's super cool, man. It's a wicked cool series. I think it's like 4 episodes.
Yep, yeah.
Worth a watch for sure.
Yeah. That's the other thing that's been duping me a little bit lately. Is I keep thinking I'm watching a miniseries, and the next thing I know, I'm on like season 2, episode
Right.
8, and it's just like, oh, these are like different killers every time. Like, okay. And I guess I think maybe a little bit of it is like, I'm feeling the letdown after recently having some good exposure to some
Yeah.
great stories that have happened throughout history. That now when you get to the ones of like, some guy who just like killed one chick in his town, it's just like, oh, well, I mean, not to sound like, I guess, you know, ironclad over
Shitty scoreboard, bro.
Right, but yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, well, that guy clearly didn't commit. You know,
Let
like-
down. You know what's actually really funny is I've been looking for a lot of porn lately and just keep ending up watching Game of Thrones. Just kidding. But like it's like I
Well, I've heard
was
there
on
hasn't
the
been-
hub and it was like every Game of Thrones sex scene ever. And
Actually,
I was like,
not
and
gonna
I was
lie,
like, are you fucking kidding me? So
Yeah.
I mean I clicked on it obviously.
Right, you gotta
But like
get a little side boob.
100%. Well,
Told
they
you,
go
man.
hard.
I watched.
Well, I
watched
mean,
that,
like,
When
when you
Aquaman
break it
fucking
down
crushes
to-
that little tiny dragon girl in season 1, like that's like holy shit.
Well, plus, I mean, like, you break it down to, like, you can either have this, like, fucking filmed with an iPhone Snapchat porn, or you can have fucking HBO Stars porn, man. Like,
It's, you know,
There's production in it.
Have you seen the ones where they put the Snapchat filter on while they're fucking?
no.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was telling AJ I keep watching August Ames videos because for some reason it's like an added bonus that she hung herself for some reason.
It's not.
Anyways,
We can edit this.
So my biggest point is, I guess porn stars have mental issues.
let's talk about music.
We should find a segue. Yeah, music's cool.
Yeah, those vehicles are awesome. So actually, we were just talking about it a minute ago. I'm gonna go on a super weird tangent here, but I've been
I can't wait.
I
live for these moments.
I can't read. I can read, but
Just not great.
I have a bad time reading like books and stuff. I can't read paragraphs and know what the fuck I read. I just have to keep rereading it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna read.
What about one graph?
I could read a uni.
Not a paragraph.
I could use it. I could read a unigraph, just not a paragraph. But like,
What about a parallelogram?
ooh, I wouldn't even fuck with one of those. Man. I wouldn't even start. I wouldn't even know how to get into it.
I think that's like Japanese. You go right to left.
So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna try out a book on tape. I'm gonna read it. I want to check out it on tape. It's 55 goddamn hours.
55 hours. Wow.
Yeah, I'm already 20 hours into it.
To explain that a spider likes banging children, like that's crazy.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. But
I mean, I
get into
misspoke.
this-
That's not correct. He doesn't bang the children.
he doesn't bang them.
The children have to bang so the spider can't eat them.
Right.
Listen, guys, he's making love with them. No, he's not. They ain't fucking.
It's nothing. It's all love, baby.
It's all
So-
loving.
I get to this part
Clown
today.
mask or not.
I get to this part today, and I'm listening to it for my morning while I'm doing my cleaning or whatever. So I'm going through and gets to the scene that is in the movie where Eddie is getting chased by the leper out of the Niebolt house, out of the sketchy house, right?
Yeah.
Remember that part?
Yeah.
Yeah, so except in the book, here's the thing. He's not just like, hey, I want to touch you because I have leprosy. He's under the house, and it's a fucking leper, and he's just like, Eddie, let me give you a blowjob for $0.25, Eddie. Let me suck your dick for $0.25, Eddie.
Wait, is
And-
that your Venom impression?
No, that's how he sounds.
No, I know. I'm just
That's
kidding.
how he sounds. Well,
Did
yeah,
you see Venom?
Yeah,
Where-
Eddie, let me stick my wet finger in your ear, Eddie.
You're gonna
So-
make my web come out, Eddie.
So I'm dying laughing halfway through, and nobody knows why because I'm just listening to it in my headphones. But he's fucking saying, "I'll suck your dick for $0.25," and
Man, it's gotta be nice to be the narrator. At
This
that
little-
point. Just like, okay, here we go.
this little bastard, the first thing that he can muster up is, "I don't have $0.25.
It's honest.
I don't have $0.25."
What about
And
a
then
buck? Does he get a
he says, "I'll suck your dick for 10 cents, Eddie."
Well, if he doesn't have a quarter, why would he have a dime?
Well, that's when he.
Turns out
Does
he's
he
got
have
one.
a dime?
That's when he
Turns out
followed.
he's got one.
That's when he followed with, "I don't have a dime either.
Oh, right.
I don't have a dime either."
Logical.
Rather than like, no, I don't want a blowjob from a leper.
I mean,
But like, no, I don't have a dime. We'll go with that. So
Hey,
then he
there's one that's
finally,
gonna
he's
fall
trying to talk
off.
himself out of it. He's like, no, I don't even have a dime.
he
I'm
finally,
sorry.
it's like a homeless guy's like, do you have a cigarette? I don't have a cigarette. Rather than like, fucking get a job, you scumbag. But like,
Maybe
so
he kind of
he's like,
wanted his pee-pee sucked on.
so anyway, he was like, I don't have a dime. And then finally, he gets to the last, just fucking, oh, fucking suck it for free, Eddie.
There you
And
go. That's what he was holding out for.
That's
He's
what
like,
he's
Yeah. I mean, you gotta set a price, but
this
there's
guy-
room to haggle.
if this
like-
guy was on Pawn Stars, he would have really won it. But, so he's then finally takes the high road and he's like, listen, leper, I gotta go. And
I
he gets on his
I
bike.
can't. I can't risk your lips falling off halfway through, bud.
Gets on his bike and he gets the fuck out of there. But like, it was just really weird. It's like these, Stephen King's writing about.
Well, that's
kids
what I was
getting
gonna
their
say.
dicks
All
sucked.
this shit, no one's ever looked into Stephen King's character. Like, come on, man.
He's writing about
like,
kids getting their dicks sucked, man. That's fucking weird.
like, we sure he's not a priest somewhere or anything? Like,
I don't know. He's probably Catholic.
I doubt it. I don't think you're allowed to believe in
God.
Googly gooks if you're.
I don't think you're allowed to believe in dick-sucking lepers if you're
a god.
Definitely not kid dick sucking lepers. That's for goddamn sure.
Right, that's the ain't.
So yeah, that's my. That's
Well, I mean,
my,
unless you're real high up in the church, then that's,
That's my it story for the day.
That's it?
That is it.
If anyone was listening, they probably just stopped. Like, that's it. And like, oh,
Good.
dad jokes, really?
Fucking
I fell off
good.
my dinosaur laughing. Real good. Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
man.
You don't say that!
All right, so there is no one listening, but for anybody
No, but
listening,
I mean, I'm saying if
For
you
anyone
haven't listened
listening.
to it in hindsight,
Future.
for anyone listening,
future people.
for anyone wondering who this strange voice that didn't introduce himself,
I think we said Cam.
he probably did.
Yeah, you gave me an announcement coming down
so-
the stairs.
This is Mr. Cam Howard. He plays drums for us, with us, around us, to us, from us.
Boo-boo.
Let's talk about some music, boys.
Okay.
Let's
I
talk-
need a new beer for that.
Let's talk about
I'll
some.
tell you what.
Whoa, the shit's spinning.
Whoa!
The shit's spinning. We're gonna.
Wicked piss
He's
up.
gonna go rip a piss. We'll get him started. So, we started a band called Granite Mouth. 4 years ago? 4.5 years ago? Played the local circuit for a while.
Good while.
Had some fun.
Had too much fun.
Had
some
too much.
nights.
Had way too much fun some nights. We ended up parting ways a little bit, and now we are back for more. And we're playing new music with a relatively new band sound.
New sound.
New
We're
all
not-
around. New all around.
We're
Nothing's
not really
named.
rushing into
Nothing's named. It's just fun.
officializing anything. We're
Just-
just conceptualizing.
Yeah, just trying to come up with new music that we haven't really messed around with before. Getting out of the aggressive two-step hardcore house that we built
We're
that we
not
could never
getting
leave.
out of it. We're
No, just
we're
just
stepping
not writing in that
away
box.
from it, and
Just
we're
not writing in that box.
right. We're taking boxes out of the music world.
Replacing them with circles.
Yeah.
So,
we're
Cam-
gonna do. I've heard. Can we get some cones? Ooh, cones are good.
Ice
Instead of
cream?
boxes.
That's really hard to pull off on the
Ooh.
drums.
Ice cream cones?
I had ice cream the other day.
I did too. Went to Fast Eddie's.
Nice. I
They
went
were
to Calix.
pretty fast, honestly. It was pretty
Calix was slow, but that wasn't in the name, so I wasn't really let down.
up the road?
Yeah.
Cam, tell us about drums. How much do you love drums?
I love them so fucking much.
I just goddamn love them.
You can't put it into words sometimes. You just gotta put it into music. You know what I mean?
You just gotta.
And sometimes you don't need to put it into music. You just gotta hit a couple things real hard, and it sounds a lot better doing that on the drums than most other things.
When did you start playing drums?
I started playing drums when I was in 3rd grade. So that probably puts me at like 8, 9, something like that. And I'm 26 now. Played for a while. Started in a much more classical
I think that's how
setting.
I think I
but-
started when I was like 9 or 10 playing
Yeah.
drums too. That's a fun age to get into drums. It's just like let's.
Oh
fucking
yeah,
hit shit.
exactly. As a kid, there's nothing better than beating on stuff with a stick. You know,
Hell yeah.
like
Hell
brothers,
yeah.
drums, sisters,
Whatever
whatever.
you got
You know,
around.
you just gotta hit some stuff once in a while, and you know, when it's something that is built to take an impact, it's not the end of the world.
It's
so
funny.
AJ's a newfound drummer now too. He's part of the club. We're all drummers. Everybody's
Yep.
all drummers.
It's funny because I wanted to play drums in like elementary school, but some kid who also played drums was like, yeah, like I got the thing, and he just would walk around with a snare all day. I didn't like, and again, like that's how you learn, like that's how they teach you.
Yeah.
You know, like all right, you got learn some snare shit, and then maybe you can get a marching thing. And I was like, oh, like no, like I wanted. Fuck that. But instead of anything else, I was like, go play the saxophone. But it's funny because like eventually that kid did end up playing like kit drum at the
Yeah.
school. But I was like, but like I just wanted to do that like first. But like the reason why was because our music teacher couldn't teach that. She could do the paradiddles and whatever, and she was like, cool. Like I taught you snare, but
Yeah.
like she couldn't teach kit.
oh yeah,
So like he eventually just went on and like learned it. I was like, I'll fucking do it in school plays. But like you know,
exactly. I think that's something that a lot of people are actually faced with drums. I found that at least in our setting of where we live on the world, A lot of the music teachers, they're much better. Their first instrument is usually a wind instrument or a brass instrument or something like that,
Right.
where they know the scales and notes and you know, or chords depending on what they're teaching. And
the first
and when
thing
it comes
I
to
got-
drums, I think most of them don't have the ability to sit at a
Right.
drum set and be able to do anything. So what they teach you is like
Note
Philip J.
structure.
Sousa stuff, 1800s marching concert
Right.
band, and you
Well,
know.
'cause they can read, like they know the scale,
Hawaii-
they
They
know
read it-
timing. So like, here,
I
do
remember
the timing. That's
we
all I can
played-
do.
Exactly.
We played Hawaii 5-0 in, I think it was 6th grade band, and I was like, this is rockin'! Like, it was like the Hawaii 5-0 theme song. It was like, this is the fucking most rockin' thing that's ever come out of this school. And it's shit.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. Terrible.
Yep. Oh
Terrible
yeah.
shit. Terrible
That
shit.
being said, I think that the fact that I stuck through the bullshit, like, and it's not bullshit. I really shouldn't say that because it is a great place for people to learn the foundation of how
Right.
to play percussion instruments. That being said, I was in the same boat as you, AJ, of like, oh man, I just want to sit down and shred a kit.
Right,
You
it's
know
like-
what I mean?
Like,
And
yeah,
it's like,
I understand the fundamentals.
you have that
fundamentals are
innocence and
important,
that
but it's like-
ignorance of like, why can't I just sit down and play this
Right.
thing? You know
Well,
what I
it's
mean?
also one of the
Because it-
more weird instruments it's a little bit more of a feeling instrument rather than a written on paper instrument. I mean, there's a way to write it on paper, but I mean, any of the great drummers in the world are gonna not have a music stand next to them. It's just not
Right.
gonna happen. I mean, that's for,
Even if
that's
they're
for
playing
a lot
in
of,
a full orchestra,
That's for a lot of
orchestral
instruments.
setting where everyone is using music
that's
stands.
a lot of real musicians. They're not gonna have a music stand unless they're in an orchestra.
Well, it's funny
but
because like
it's as far as drumming goes, it is just more of a feeling
Yeah.
than a right and wrong way.
Oh, exactly, and I agree. But I think what really made me stick it out, you know what I mean, and realize that there was like a top to that plateau of, oh, okay, if I can accomplish this, that brings me to the next mountain to climb. You know what I mean, and just learn that, and then get to the next level and work your way up. And I also had the kick in the pants of my father being in a successful local
Right.
band. You know what I mean,
Yes,
and having his own
yes.
drum kit, and something that. Although I was learning, like you were talking about, paradiddles, learning warm-ups, learning just marching routines,
Right.
stuff like that, I could go home and, you know, when he wasn't playing gigs, he'd pull his drum set out and we'd clean it up and tune it. And then my dad had showed me a couple things and we'd play, and it really got me hot on the drums to the point where by 5th grade, in my school anyway, there was no option for drum set in my elementary school when they first bring about the music program. So, it's all just concert drums and everything, and we got to this song, and I believe it was called Mixed Bag, and it's just kind of a mashup of classic jazz rhythms
Shocker,
and beats
with
and
the
stuff
title
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, exactly. You never would have saw that one coming.
Really gave it all away.
And so it was one of those things. Originally, we were going to play it concert style. There was going to be one guy on the snare drum, one guy on the bass drum, one guy on the cymbals. We're going to do this as if we're, you know,
Right.
big band concert style. And then a couple of the drummers quit. And the teacher didn't really know what to do. And my dad had already purchased me a drum set where this is where I kind of lucked out in the situation. And once again, having him be able to show me, although it's not much, but hey, this is a rock beat. Just
Right. Yeah.
straightforward, 4/4, play this, keep doing it. The more you do it, the faster you get. The more you do it, the more you'll be able to play within those lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got the opportunity to bring my drum kit in and play, and I did. And then from there, when middle school came around, they finally offered an actual jazz band option, and I started taking
Right.
private drum lessons, and that really honed my skill and taught me the fundamentals of what I still know and play today.
Yeah.
That being said, it got to the point after 3 or 4 years with that, I felt very much cornered with the instructor that I was using towards jazz and swing type music, which
That's tricky.
I guess in
too.
all honesty, that's probably where the money is to be made as a professional drummer. But
Sure. Like a studio drummer.
yeah,
kind of thing,
exactly.
like-
Studio drummer playing for the Boston Pops, going to Berkeley, doing the whole nine, you know what I mean? That being said, I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in my tight red pants and my long
Right,
hair
yeah.
and, you know.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the time it's funny because I played, like I said, I played saxophone. I can't remember. I think I started in like 3rd or 4th grade,
I had
maybe.
sex on a phone once.
Nice. I think I started in probably 4th grade. I'm gonna say 4th grade. And like my mother was ecstatic. She's like, "You're gonna be the next Kenny G," and I'm like,
Wrong.
Like again, like, as a kid, I didn't think of that. Like, right, exactly. Like looking back on it now, it's like, oh, I love you, Mom, but like,
Kenny,
But,
go
like,
fuck yourself.
You're that motherfucker can breathe in and breathe out at the same time.
It's just like it's the same thing. It's like
That's not human.
learn a scale and fucking hammer on it, and people think you're good at saxophone. Like anyone can find a combination of notes that sound good.
Yeah.
Jazz, but
Fucking hate jazz.
but I remember
Get
I
the
think
jazz virus.
probably the first time I ever broke my mom's heart.
That's a segment right there.
Was when I like got rid of the saxophone. I was like, you know what? I don't fucking like playing this thing. I don't have any.
I'm either gonna figure out how to smoke weed out of it or get rid of
Right,
it.
like
So,
I'm out of reeds all the time, and like I can't keep up with buying those, and like this is kind of stupid. I have to walk down to the bus stop with this fucking stupid case. I'm done, Mom.
You don't
Fucking
even know the
done.
shit people yell at me from their car
so-
windows in the morning.
So I asked my dad. For
I don't want to be Kenny G.
right, like so I asked my dad for a guitar, and he actually got me one that year. And I played it for like 6 months.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my mom's like, why do you want to play guitar? Like, everyone does that. And I'm like, fucking saxophone's gay. And then she probably hit me, but like...
But it's tough because you're also at that age where you can't tell your mom, like, yeah, but the guitar gets the pussy.
Right, like, I was like, well, I could...
Nobody's shredding
Well,
ass with
like,
a
it was-
sax, Mom.
It was also at the time. It was also at the time where I was like, like, you know, like I really like. I just started. I like traded in sync for like, ooh, like I got the new Boxcar Racer album, and Blink-182 is like.
Have you
coming
heard
out
of The
soon.
Used?
Right, like it was like kind of like, ooh, like guitar is actually pretty fucking sick, actually. But my mom was kind of let down that I gave up saxophone. But it's funny that I traded for guitar,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
I played it. I was like, this is hard, a lot harder than
It's
saxophone.
funny. It's
And
funny
then
because I
didn't
feel like
play
your
for,
mom.
3 years.
I feel like your mom now is like so much more stoked that you play guitar than she would be if you played
If
saxophone
I was just
right
like a
now.
Megan saxist.
Like, yeah, whatever, AJ.
I don't do anything with it,
Saxophone.
but watch me blow you away.
You want to come to another recital? Come to another performance?
But no, I mean, on a side
AJ's
note,
a
like,
feminist saxist.
yeah.
that's a very real thing, and I'm glad that at least your parents didn't put up much of a fight, because I think the reason why I got the musical freedom I did as a child was the fact that my father being into music and my mother wanting us to be successful, they tried to force my brother to learn to play piano. Mm-hmm. And so my older brother took piano lessons. He went to multiple recitals. He actually did really well. I mean, I remember going to tri-state events and
You
stuff
talking
like that.
Keaton or Kyle?
Kyle.
Oh, okay.
And this was a long time ago. But yeah, he used to compete in like these tri-state recitals and all kinds of great things. And he was doing a good job, but he hated it. He absolutely hated it. Every day he went to recital, he'd beg my parents not to take him. He
Right.
just didn't want to go. He wanted to learn the guitar, but my parents felt that he should learn a more useful, more classical instrument, such as the piano. Just
Sure.
like what you're saying with your mom with the saxophone. The problem is Kyle quit playing piano, and by that time he was so burnt out on learning
Just
an
being-
instrument he
right.
didn't want to play that he had no more aspirations
It
to
was
pick
kind-
up the guitar anymore.
which
And
we-
I think that actually sunk in with my parents. So
Yeah.
I did get freedom out of that, and that's one thing I do have to admit is at least, although you broke your mother's heart, it happens. It was going to happen eventually, whether it be the
would've been-
saxophone or in another few more years.
It would have been way sicker if your dad was just like, no, Kyle, you're going to play piano. And it was like, no, Cam, you're going to play guitar. And it was like, no, Keaton, you're going to play bass. And
Well,
that's
yeah,
fucking it.
you
We're
have-
going to be a family band, and that's the end of it.
Well, that right there, it was not my father. That was my mother's aspirations of what we were going to
We're
be.
hitting the road,
Yep.
guys.
Oh yeah, she totally saw us as a Partridge Family type fucking deal of just like
Margarita buckets across America.
we ride
Let's
around
do
in
this.
our RV full of our family band, and we wear matching pastel bell bottoms and tuxes.
Sounds like a hell of a party.
You know what really sucks about
Oh, I'm sure there'd be lots of blow, but
you know what really sucks about the Kyle thing is like it sucks that he was burnt.
Kyle?
Yeah, fucking Kyle. No, but it sucks that he was too burnt out at that point because he probably would have been sick at guitar solely because he learned piano first.
I mean, they started him when he was probably
He's
in
real smart.
first grade. Like, they started him before lessons were even offered through the school or
Right.
anything. So, like, he was a young kid and he was doing a good job. But yeah, unfortunately, it was just It was the wrong niche for him, you know? He
Yeah.
wasn't, it's not what he wanted to do. It was what other people wanted him to do.
Right.
Then he found airsoft.
That's right.
What are you doing over
I
there?
was picking my leg. Sorry. Yeah, I kind of had a way different experience with music growing up. Like, I think it was 5th or 6th grade, and I saw that they were offering band in Newport, trash can school.
Right.
So I was like, dude, I want to fucking play drums.
Right.
So I knew that my sister had a snare drum. So I called my mom, or actually first I called my sister, and I was like, Jody, I want to take band. Can I borrow your snare drum? Since like you don't use it, it's just in your room. And she was like, no. No, you can't.
Just being
No,
siblings being
we're going
siblings,
to
like,
deprave
yeah,
you
like-
of this.
Yeah, she's like, no. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks anyways. That was that. And then, like, I think later that night, my mom called me back. She's like, hey, Jody just told me that she wouldn't let you ever snare. Like, no. Like, what do you, come on. No, of course you can have it. Like, come on. So, I had it. She gave it to me. I can't remember if she gave me that one or if they got me a new one. But, like, I got a drum.
Ended up with one. you know.
Regardless, I had a drum.
Yeah.
I took drums, and then I played the snare for a little bit, and then they put me on the timpanis. I learned to play the George of the Jungle theme song.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
I gotta tell you, I rocked the timpanis for a little while
Oh,
in
it's
concert band in
it's
middle
a
school.
fantastic
Did you
time.
guys wear gloves?
No.
Well, like, what?
Isn't that their thing though?
I
Like
think
you
the-
see 'em
Yeah,
sometimes,
like a nice set of timpanis is like a couple grand, not the high school
Well,
ones
sure.
that are like 200 bucks.
I didn't know if you were going for the look.
High school
I-
ones are
it's
pretty much
bullshit.
like a
I didn't
55-gallon drum
Right.
flipped over with like a head
Yeah.
stretched
No,
on
I didn't know
it,
if it
but,
was like an honor
Nah,
though. Like,
it's-
oh, you get gloves this
Nah.
year. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's a funny thing though. So I did that, and I was like, "Yeah, this is cool, whatever." But there was this kid that was really good at drum set, and I was just like, "Okay, that's not the territory that you're allowed to be in. That's his." So then he went to high school, and I was in 7th grade at that point,
Nice.
and before I moved to Keene, and it was So I was like, I can play the drum set now. There's an opening. So that's when I played the Hawaii 5-0 song, and it was great. It was great.
Were you
But-
wearing like true
Oh no,
like?
no.
Come on, you gotta dress the part, man.
Oh, it was. I didn't know what I was doing.
I played.
I didn't even know what the part was.
I think
like,
it was
this song
Kid-
is not jazz. All right.
Yeah,
So
fair
you guys
enough.
were playing kit.
Yeah,
So
I played the kit in 7th grade in Newport, and but I did that, but I also did
It would just be
marching
funny
band.
to go in there like a modern
Yeah.
drummer, like just
Marching
like,
band.
a sweaty tank top and like gym shorts at like a presentation. Just like,
Marching band is such a fun thing. It's not fun, but
It is. It sucks, but it's
a
great
fun
at the
thing
same time.
to
like,
have to experience as a drummer to just be like, okay, I'm
Yep.
gonna play this stuff and I have to do my rudiments and I got to do everything like that, but I also have to carry this Mondo fucking heavy thing
Mm-hmm.
down the road and just walk for a while.
I think marching band's actually the reason why I enjoyed the timpanis so much, because the timpanis were basically like a stage version of the marching toms. And I gotta tell you, to play the marching toms, it doesn't take a whole lot,
I
but
played
you always
tritoms.
sound great because all you have to do is
I
and you
played-
fucking on point
I
every
played-
goddamn time.
I played snare for like 2 months in marching band, and then they were like, we don't have anybody to play tritoms or quad toms, whichever it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just the tom rack. It was like the heaviest fucking thing that you could walk
Mm-hmm.
around with. And they were like, oh, you're like 75 pounds. Why don't you do it? And I did. And I hated it. And that was that. But yeah, it was like, my mom was just like, oh, fucking hell no, you're not going to pass up on playing music. Idiot.
Yeah.
Get in
Well,
there.
and then-
Get in there,
well,
kid.
then you Avengers assembled quite a nice drum set that you let go for very little money later in life.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I had a very... Well, the shell pack wasn't anything to write home
Well,
about.
okay, I'm sorry. So I never have seen it, but I've heard the story many times.
It's probably like... It was probably a good $5,000 in it. But
Right.
like...
Damn, I can't say I've ever heard this one.
Oh,
it
it's
was
good.
just sitting on a it was just sitting on a Tama Rockstar, but it was full Gibraltar rack, full Iron
Yep.
Cobra setups, the fucking DW stands. I had not all paste roods, but a bunch of paste roods and a bunch of A customs on it.
Were they pastes or paste roots?
Paste Rudes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the
fucking
I got bit hard.
bark ones with the
I
white
got
logo.
bit
Yeah. Well, like Paste is the company, but Paste Rude is like
it's
a,
like their
a
metal line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got bit hard by the whole Joey Jordison bug. And that's a lot of what he uses. So I was like, I need an 18-inch Paste Rude China. I need an 18-inch Paste Crash. I need the 18-inch or the 22-inch Paste Ride. I think I had 2 Paste Splashes, but then I had like a couple A Custom bits. I had a few crashes from A. I had a lot of symbols,
Didn't you
but
have
A Custom is nice. I have to admit I'm a fan of the K Customs though.
oh fuck yeah, I didn't even understand what those were. At that
Yeah,
point.
no, totally. Like, I remember, like, I had, like, a ZBT crash, which is, like, a fucking...
Trash. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a $55 crash symbol. And I was just
Right.
like, oh, this thing's sick.
this
And
is
it,
cool.
It,
probably-
like, shattered in, like,
It
a
probably
week.
really wasn't $5,000. It was probably like 3. But I was
Well, didn't you have
was 17.
Joey Jordison snare
yes.
also?
I had a
Yeah,
Joey Jordison
yeah.
snare. It was a 13-inch snare that was 8 inches deep, so it was a square. It was awesome. Fucking loved it. But I had joined in the Army, went to boot camp, knew that I wasn't gonna be staying at my
You
house,
found
and I
your new
came
life.
back. I was just
You
like, yeah,
knew
whatever.
you were coming home to like an apartment situation.
Right, I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be able to play this thing. I might as well get some cash out of it, and I pawned it for $700, like a fucking idiot. But
Well, Pawn Shop's gonna make their cut, too.
oh, they sold it in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was set up for.
Sure
I
they
think
did.
I think they sold it for $3,500 when it was all
Yeah.
said and done. But yeah, it was like it did make me feel kind of cool because for those 3 days I did go to not 3 days
In a row.
altogether, but like
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw it twice in those 3 days, and it was like a setup in the
Yeah.
pawn shop. It was like a display.
Oh, yeah, like,
Yeah,
front
yeah,
and center,
yeah.
like,
It was
yeah,
right
in the
center.
window.
It was
Yeah.
right in the center of Good Fortune, just like this Mondo set with like all the shit. It was pretty cool to be like, yeah, that was mine. Not anymore. But no, it was cool though. I mean, I wouldn't do it the same if I
Yeah.
could now. But it was fun.
It's a neat thing.
But on a side note, when did your fall off happen? Both of yous, between, playing the concert like style music and just kind of branching out and doing your own thing.
Well, for me, it was
Like, did you take beginner guitar or anything like that once you transitioned to guitar, or did you just go with it
I
and
took
learn
it as
yourself?
an easy A, which
Right,
I
well, so-
fucking failed at. I think, anyways.
So when I quit saxophone and got a guitar, like I was saying, is like I started and I was like, man, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to not do this. And so like the guitar, I still
Took a
have,
break
like,
for a couple
to
of
my
years,
Fender.
yeah.
Like I still like my dad was like nice enough to like when I was like, hey, like I think I want to try out guitar. He was nice enough to go and be like, I bought you this $900 Fender and
Right.
a $300 amp. Like,
Yeah.
here you go. Give it a try. Like, if you don't like it after this, you'll know you actually don't like it. And it turns out I mean, I'm very flighty and stuff. And as
that
a
age,
kid, as a
too.
kid,
Was
it
that double
it
barrel
super-
amp that you used to bring
No,
over?
that thing I actually got. My ex-girlfriend from high school got me that. Actually,
Gotcha.
That thing.
Yeah, because I knew you had that like early on, but like
I
it blew
had,
some
like,
speakers.
I had an old Fender Reverb, which is actually like a very now not that they're sought after, but like
People like 'em.
right? Like they're a pretty. They don't make them the same or something stupid about that. As like the old ones, but so I still have the Fender. That's the one I put all the work in. I
Yep, yeah.
overhauled it, put the Fishmans in it, and
Yeah.
painted it and stuff. But like that just sat, and unfortunately, that guitar, as much work as I put into it, I think it's just too far gone.
To really bring it to what you
Right,
want it
like
to be.
it's like
Yeah.
like it really needs just like an overhaul. But like I don't really want to do it because it's my first guitar. But like I unfortunately growing up after I decided guitar wasn't really that awesome. Right, like I, was just, I didn't have like a stand or a case, and like at my mom's house, it was like I had a pretty tiny bedroom. Like my bed was here, and then there's like an L, like my closet L, and like a, like it was kind of like like there's no room for a guitar. I didn't have a case or anything, so it just got fucking thrashed.
Yeah.
To the point where I couldn't even play it, let alone I didn't know how to tune it or anything like that. Because like that was the thing with saxophone, you didn't have to tune it. Like any other instrument I fucked around with,
Yeah.
it was kind of like you pick it up and it's good to go. And if you're fucking up, it's on you. It's not like I have to tune it and stuff.
Right.
So
like
I-
yeah, the saxophone's a matter of getting the neck and the reed right.
Right.
And all set. Like,
But so I didn't actually start playing guitar seriously again until, well, not even again, just in general until probably like 10th grade, and even then I didn't really even take it seriously until honestly probably 6 years ago or so when you and I kind of like started actually doing
Yeah,
something instead of just like getting together.
Huh, that's interesting.
With-
Yeah, so you just
with
kind
the
of took it
guys.
upon
Like,
yourself.
There was a few people
Yeah.
like I would fuck around at home and stuff, but like as far as like making creative music, I wasn't really looking at it, which is why I think I say it to Sawyer all the time. Is like I am a dog shit guitarist. Like compared to someone who doesn't know anything about guitar, I'm pretty good. But like compared to people who've been playing guitar for the amount of time that I claim to have been playing guitar,
yeah.
I'm terrible at it. But like.
Oh, I'm the same way with drums. Like, I like to think that I'm a good drummer, but like, all you got to do is look on YouTube, and I'm not.
Well, like,
you know what I mean?
Taking it a lot more seriously.
That's a bummer with everything. though.
yeah, that's true.
Just look on the internet if you want to get bummed out about what your passion is.
Well, it's funny because before, like, even when I started taking it seriously, which was around the same time that we all started taking it seriously, was at the time it was like, yeah, this music's really cool, but it's kind of opening doors to we're getting fucking smashed every night, we're partying, we're like having fires, we're about the band life kind of thing. where it's like,
yeah.
Now at the point where we're at, as we kind of like briefly went over like the resurgence of like this whole Granite Mouth thing, which we're not really. Not that we're not picking up Granite Mouth, but we're kind of like taking a new road. But like with it, I feel like for the first time in a while, the way I've been focusing on it is I'm actually getting better at guitar as opposed to being able to play what I already could faster or more precise. You know,
Definitely.
like I can actually feel like a skill.
You
set
can tell.
build.
You can tell
Yeah,
the music.
yeah.
The music is way different. You can tell there's a way different maturity level to it. Like Granite Mouth was fun, and I think that we all had a great time with it.
Yeah,
But
I think it was almost like a necessity to get to where we're at. You know,
It was
what
a
I mean?
cool.
Like,
It was a cool stepping
100%.
stone to get to the point where we can really appreciate what we're playing now, and just be like, oh, open notes, oh, open melodies, sweet. Like we can just run on this one for a little while and just have it be like good audible music and good listening music. Like that's just nice. Whereas before it was just slam, 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 fuck,
Yeah.
fuck, 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 smash, 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 smash.
Well,
Like,
I mean, like you put it into a pretty good perspective. I'm not sure exactly when it was said, but we were jamming within the last month or so here, and you mentioned like, yeah, well, Granite Mouth was like a solo over a solo over a solo. You know what
Everybody
I mean?
wanted to
Everyone's trying
shine.
to shine at the
Yep.
same time.
Yep.
There wasn't any differentiation between who was getting really involved with what at any one point because everyone was just kind of blurring each other out.
everyone was trying to do like an expose on
Yeah.
their musical
That being said, it was
ability, and it
Yeah.
it's just
but we had a lot of fun just
that was learning.
doing that and staying at shitty hotels to play shitty bars.
Oh, sure. You know, that's the thing is like it
That's
was
something
all
that
fun,
every
like-
musician should do. Honestly.
Right,
Every
yeah, that's-
musician should take a stab at being like.
I mean,
believe
that
in
is
this
the
band a
apex
little.
of just being like, fuck it, I play music. You know what I mean?
Right, it's
So
like, 'cause, like
like,
playing shows is fun. Like regardless of if there was, I mean, most of our shows. I mean, being honest, like the most we've probably played to is what 50, 60 kids.
right, exactly.
Kids,
Maybe.
adults in sandals. But no, I mean, like it's just an experience that like if you don't give it a go, you're always gonna wonder like
Right.
yeah, like you know, because like our first show, like it's funny, like I mean, there's some stipulation on our first show. There was like Bob's, and then there was like
Yeah.
our first show at the Rec Room. But like our first show at the Rec Room, it was kind of funny how it was like the first time I've ever experienced like kind of like a trigger moment because I'd played a couple shows. Like I played the Palladium with like my buds from high school. But that was like this whole like nervous kind of like I was playing bass,
Right.
like just kind of like this whole thing. I didn't even know what I was doing yet, so like they were like, no matter if you play anything wrong, just start headbanging. It doesn't matter if you play anything wrong. But like my brain just wouldn't, and so I just like kind of froze. I kind of froze and just kind of like statued and was like, no, but I'm playing it right.
Right.
But so it's funny how like then just through going through some like weird, almost embarrassing experiences, like playing a place like as big as the Palladium to probably like 200 people who were just there. It was a huge battle of the bands, so like it was
Right.
mostly bands, but it was still like 200 people. And but like and then it was like the first time our first real show was like the first time I ever experienced like that flip switch of just like show mode kind of,
Yeah.
you know, where it was just
Yep.
kinda like the nerves broke off. Like obviously nervous before it, and we're playing fast. Like obviously, like
Right,
there's some
right,
nerves,
but it was
like,
that
it's a
kind of
different
disconnect
kind
of,
nerve, right.
like, yeah, exactly.
That was kind of a weird thing too, where it was like we wrote a lot. I think we wrote 9 songs within 2 months. They were rehearsed pretty well, but I mean, still, it was 9 brand new songs within 2 months. It was just like,
And that was
all
the
right, let's
best we
learn
ever
all this.
were.
Let's learn all this. Boom, 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 done. And it was like, yeah. So I think there was a total switch that got flipped.
Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of that shit that I don't even remember.
Oh, for sure.
It's probably because of a lot of the drugs and alcohol. But
Sure, we were drinking a lot back
Yeah, smoking.
then. That was also
we almost got into a fist fight with the owner like 5 minutes before we went on. That was a fucking hell of a first show. I mean,
that was also the days of thick AJ, which is fun.
thick ass.
But like on a side note, like once again back to like not all the way back, which I want to get there, but halfway back. Is it's just one of those experiences that's almost like a necessity. You know, everyone's going to have that, like, yeah, I played for fucking dirt money, if not any money at all, at some shit hole in the wall with no one there. You know what I mean?
You gotta do it.
Like, there's no band that's famous that can't say that they've been there and done that. You know what I mean? And let alone, there's a billion other bands that won't ever be famous that have done that exact same thing. But I feel like, as a musician, that's just part of the fun of it. You know, being a musician is almost an excuse to put yourself in that situation. You know what I mean? So, like, why not? Like,
well, I forget who said it, but it was one thing. I was watching some interview with some either artist or band or something, but they said if you ever record anything and release it and then tell people you don't expect, like, you're not trying to get people to like it, you're a fucking liar.
Sure.
Like, you know, like, if you make music and you don't put it out there and you want to listen to it because you want to make music, that's for you. But the whole reason people put it out there because they want people to like it. Right. You know, like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, you're putting it out there, like, you're already marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, there definitely are those people who like sit there and record stuff and like, wow, like I made this song that I want to listen to. I'm gonna share it with like my friends, but like I'm not gonna put it out there. But as soon as you make
those
a fucking
people don't
Facebook
really
page
exist
to release music, and it's like boom, like check this out. Everyone's thinking, regardless of how real it is, there's like well, so and so did it. Whoever your idol is, like, oh well, fucking every time I die, just a little hole in the band from Buffalo. They still live in apartments, but they're huge now, kind of thing. You know, like,
the only people that are really out there to be able to say like, oh, this is just for me, is the consumer of the music. You know what I mean? Like, if you're out there putting your music out there for other people to hear, like, at the very least, yeah, you can, like, chop it up to, like, oh, well, you know, like, I feel like there might be someone out there who's going through the same thing I am. Maybe this will help, and maybe they can connect, you know, like, yeah, sure, that's real. Music does that. That's why people have an infatuation with music. That being said, the only people that can be out there and be like, oh, this is for me, I don't want other people to know, is pretty much the consumer, because otherwise that music wouldn't be out there for you to consume.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, listen, I think we've maybe coming past on an hour. So maybe let's wrap this up.
Wrap it up nice. Like
Fair enough.
Let's wrap this up by doing one thing.
A big thing?
Let's just go around and maybe let's just say what the biggest thing you want to talk about next time is.
Ooh. I'm going to have to think on that, though.
Yeah. I'll start.
You go.
Granite Mouth episode.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That'd be probably a pretty good episode.
Granite Mouth episode would be fun.
Think you might be able to see that one next.
Party Stories episode.
Oh, Party Stories. That's good. You guys are taking everything from me here.
That's what you get for going last.
Fuck.
And on that note,
well, that at least sets us up for it too.
Yeah. I'll just hang on, but let me just, because I didn't have anything to give for the ideas. Let me just close this out with.
I think you should.
I think it's only right. And this is how we vaguely talked about it real quick. Podcast.